my darklings, and welcome to the Shadow Hour. I am your host, Madam Midnight. Tonight's tale is not about monsters that lurk beneath your bed. No, darklings. Tonight's terror comes from secrets. Secrets hidden for decades. Secrets buried beneath lies. In a sleepy town of Black Hollow, a brilliant young woman named Evelyn Hart discovers clues connected to the greatest unsolved cases in the town's history. The police failed, the detectives failed, the witnesses disappeared, but Evelyn noticed something that no one else did. So settle into your favorite chair, keep your lanterns burning bright, because tonight's tale is called The Clockmakers Secret. Chapter 1, The Missing Mayor. 30 years earlier, Mayor Thomas Whitmore vanished without a trace. No body, no suspects, no answers. The case became known as the Blackthorn Mystery. Every detective who worked it eventually gave up, until Evelyn Hart stumbled upon something strange. Evelyn was 23 years old, sharp-minded, observant, and known throughout the town for solving small mysteries. One rainy afternoon, she wandered into the abandoned clock shop that once belonged to Ellis Crow, the town's favorite clockmaker. Inside, dust covered every surface. Then she noticed something, a grandfather's clock, still ticking after 30 years. Evelyn frowned. That's impossible. She opened the clock and discovered a folded note hidden inside. The paper read, "Time reveals what silence buries." On the back was a date, October 17th, the same day Mayor Whitmore vanished. Chapter 2, The First Clue. Evelyn visited Police Chief Martin Graves. The aging chief laughed. "That old case again. Half the town has theories on it." Evelyn said, "This note wasn't planted accidentally." Chief Graves replied, "You think that old clock's going to solve a mystery?" And Evelyn said, "No, but whoever hid it wanted someone to look deeper." The chief sighed. "Fine, show me what you got." Evelyn pointed to a tiny symbol etched into the note. It was a raven. Chief Graves froze. "Where did you find that?" "Why?" said Evelyn. "The same symbol appeared on evidence from the original investigation," he said. Now Evelyn had his attention. Chapter 3, The Photograph. Searching town records, Evelyn discovered an old newspaper photograph. Mayor Whitmore stood beside three men: Ellis Crow, the clockmaker, Judge Bennett, and a businessman named Walter Finch. But something seemed odd. Everyone smiled except for Ellis. He looked terrified. Evelyn enlarged the photograph. Hidden in the reflection of the store's window was a fourth person, a shadowy figure wearing a dark coat, someone never identified. Evelyn showed the picture to her friend, who was the librarian, Clara. Clara said, "Wait, zoom in." Evelyn did. The mysterious figure held a silver pocket watch, the same design found inside Ellis Crow's abandoned shop. Chapter 4, The Secret Room. The clues led Evelyn back to the clock shop. She examined the floor carefully. One board sounded hollow. She prized it open, and beneath lay a hidden room. Inside were hundreds of documents, letters, receipts, maps, and a journal. Ellis Crow's journal. Its final entry read, "They know I saw what happened. If anything happens to me, the truth lies beneath the bell tower." Evelyn's pulse raced. Chapter 5, The Bell Tower. That night, she climbed the old church bell tower. Wind howled and the rain lashed against the windows. At the top, she discovered carved initials, T.W., Thomas Whitmore. Beside them was another message, trust no one. Suddenly, footsteps echoed behind her, and Chief Graves appeared. And he said, well, you shouldn't be here. And Evelyn said, neither should you. The chief looked nervous, far too nervous. Then Evelyn noticed mud on his boots. Fresh mud. The same red clay found beneath the clock shop. Her eyes widened. You've been there. The chief's expression darkened. Chapter 6. The truth emerges. The chief finally confessed not to murder, but to hiding evidence. Years ago, his father had been one of the original detectives. The case had been corrupted by powerful men, Judge Bennett, Walter Finch, and others. The mayor discovered they were stealing town's funds and laundering money through construction projects. When Whitmore threatened to expose them, they silenced him. Ellis Crow witnessed everything. The clockmaker hid clues before disappearing himself. The corrupt officials destroyed evidence, or so they thought. Chapter 7. The Final Clue. A series of numbers, 11, 4, 7, 2. Evelyn stared at them for hours, and then she realized that they weren't numbers at all. They were clock positions. Together they formed directions. The path led to an abandoned warehouse near the river. Police officers searched the location. Beneath a concrete floor, they uncovered a hidden chamber. Inside were ledgers, proving decades of corruption, and skeletal remains of Mayor Whitmore. The mystery was finally solved 30 years after he had vanished. Chapter 8. Justice. The evidence triggered a massive investigation. Several powerful families were exposed. Properties were seized. Secrets surfaced. And Blackthorn Hollow finally learned the truth. Weeks later, Chief Graves met Evelyn outside the town hall. And he said, you solved the biggest case in this town's history. Evelyn replied, I didn't solve it alone. He raised his eyebrows. Oh? Ellis Crow, he left the clues for us. The chief nodded. Then I suppose 2 detectives solved it. As they walked away, the old town clock in the square began to chime. 12 chimes for midnight. And for the first time in 30 years, the mystery was finally at rest. So, my darklings, sometimes the truth isn't lost. It is simply waiting for someone brave enough to find it. Evelyn Hart followed every clue, questioned every answer, and uncovered secrets buried beneath decades of lies. Remember, the smallest detail may unlock the biggest mystery. The thing everyone overlooks may be the thing that changes everything. Until next time, keep your eyes open, trust your instincts, and don't ignore the whispers hidden between the ticks of the clock. I am Madam Midnight, and you've been listening to The Shadow Hour. And I hope that you have a good night and you sleep well. But if you hear a clock chime at midnight, you may want to check what secrets, times it has been keeping. And you have a good night.